You're watching part 2 of our season review with Gaz, who hates Paul Scholes, Joshy and Adam. Right, let's get going. Boys,
I love Paul Scholes.
Do you expect us to sign any other players this window?
Nope.
Adam's going straight with a note. No, I actually...
He has. Thank you for summing that little moment up for us, just in case nobody saw it.
I was surprised by that. No, I think we will. But I don't know who. No, nobody seems to know anything.
What is Woodward playing at? Why do we keep hearing from him? We don't hear from other club chief executives. And also, why does he say things like, watch this space, and then nothing happens? Why doesn't he sign some people and then go, I did that? Why is he essentially an idiot?
What's worrying is that the only 2 signings we've made are signings that he's had a year to work on. Herrera and Luke Shaw, you know, we've been in the market for them for how long? Now we're looking, Louis van Gaal's give him this list. He's probably still working on Moyes' list and hasn't got back around to it yet. So it's annoying because we're preparing bids, we're doing this, we're doing that, but nothing ever happens.
My favourite one from journalists is when they say, oh, Vidal's on their radar. Does that just mean the club are aware that he's a player? What does that mean?
I think I'm sort of a bit not cautious. I just don't want to get too worked up about it at the moment. There's still time in the window. Yes, I would prefer the business to be done before the season gets going, but certain players, you know, the top players, it takes time to just cajole that bid for the other club to sort their bits out.
You say that if you look at Arsenal signing Sanchez.
Yeah, Barcelona didn't want. Barcelona wanted to get rid, so it's easier to just go in and they were like, this is how much we want to get rid. Whilst, you know, we're all thinking it. Everyone's thinking about Vidal. I'll be the first one to bring him up. The fact is, Juventus don't want to be seen to have sold him, and he probably doesn't want to be seen to have asked for a transfer. There's probably lots of things going on. We may not even be in for him, and it's just a smokescreen. But the point is, there's still time in the window. If we're at this, exactly. I don't know. You never know. Woodward's doing all sorts at the moment. But you know, it's still time in the window. I'm prepared to wait until the end of the window before I then react and say, what the hell have we done?
I think that Vidal is such an important player. For me, he's top 5 in the world. And I think just signing Vidal, because for me, if we don't sign anyone now and we go into the season with the squad that we've got now, I think top 4 will be a struggle. And that's very different to what I was saying last year. I'm a bit more pessimistic now. But I think if we were to get Vidal, then he's the difference from finishing 5th to 3rd. And then if we even get like 3 more players, then why can't we win it? But that's not going to happen. Because like Adam says, Luke Shaw, Herrera, he's had a year to work on it.
Do you think there's a possibility, because we did hear whilst in America Van Gaal say things like, well, I'm really happy with the squad. Do you think there's a case that, in fact, the players they want won't come?
The best thing is Louis van Gaal won't take no crap. If he doesn't get the players that he wants, he will kick up a fuss about it. I'm quietly confident he'd do that. The problem with United is
who, Adam?
To Ed Woodward, is Ed Woodward probably.
But what I'm saying is, say if we want Di Maria, they go out and they say, Di Maria, we'll give you this much money, we'll pay what Real Madrid want, and Di Maria says, no Champions League football for a year, loads of competition in the Premier League, no guarantee of anything. Liverpool
signed Suarez without Champions League football. You can still get.
I'm just giving you an example. Do you think the players are perhaps saying no? Because then Van Gaal can get as upset as he wants.
Manchester United is still a big enough draw. Louis van Gaal is still, you know, a top manager who should be able to attract players. And in all honesty, we should only be out of the Champions League for 1 year. The problem for me is the club for years now have made far too many excuses, and we see the Glazers taking another 100-odd mil out of the club, selling shares and whatnot, and people are just not bothered by it. And we've got to see Glazeronomics have affected the club.
Adam, can I ask you something? Louis van Gaal, is he a world-class manager?
He is, yeah.
How far away? I know completely different managers here. Completely different managers here, but how far in terms of ability would you say Van Gaal is to Ferguson? Would you say there's too much difference between the two? Because if you were going into the season now with this squad and Ferguson was in charge, would you have as many worries?
No, we've still got a glaring. Yeah. We've just lost 3 of our most experienced and best defenders. As much stick as I gave Evra or whoever, we still lost some of the best players we've got. And the thing is, the club are making too many excuses. It's gone from, we'll try to get our business wrapped up before the World Cup, we'll wait for Louis van Gaal to come home, Vidal's on holiday, we have to wait for him to get off his jollies, we've got to do this, we've got to wait for this. There's no value in the transfer market. The club are just full of excuses. And
two quick things, before Adam finishes that point. One, if you can hear some weird noise, it's because we're sat under a sexy glass roof and it's now raining. So that's coming in. And secondly, see who's holding the card? Ask the questions. All right? You're the guest. You just sit there and say you hate skulls. Take the abuse. Adam, carry on.
I was just ranting about how the club just taking us for complete and utter mugs.
The club Woodward should, back to your original point, Woodward should just be quiet. He really shouldn't be coming out and just, you know, it's lip service until he actually does something. And then when he does something, it's actually his job, so we don't really want to hear from him anyway.
No, I mean,
so
you never heard
should
from
just,
David Gill,
or
did
it's
you?
part of his job, whatever, you know, but why is he there giving out these interviews? He looks like an idiot, and he's, at the moment, he is coming across really badly. And if we do sign 3 players before the end of the window, it will be. I won't be sitting there going, "Oh, well done, Ed Woodward."
Yeah,
that's
you
his
say-
job.
you
He gets
say-
handsomely rewarded,
Yeah.
and that's part of his job. And I don't want to see him on the screen, even alongside the player going, "Yeah, that was me." I just
Yeah.
want him to get on with his fucking job.
But we've got 5 chewing gum sponsors, and that's all that matters.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because you look at it on paper and you think Manchester United, loads of money, one of the biggest clubs in world football. The players should want to play there, and yet last season we're playing players out of position because we don't have the playing stuff, and we still don't. And there's no logical reason for it. And as you point out, this is Woodward's job. Why isn't it happening? Does
Too many
anybody
excuses
have
are being
any
made
idea?
for the Glazers
Well,
and for Woodward.
you know, your point about no Champions League football is a good one, I think. And with players like Di Maria and Vidal, who are at their peak, a year out of it might be a bit of a big deal for them. They might think, well, look, I'm at my peak. I want to be playing year in, year out. So, yeah, fair enough. And as opposed to the likes of Herrera and Shaw, who are a bit younger, or in Shaw's case, a lot younger, and they've got it all ahead of them. So there is that consideration. But, you know, you can't predict. You don't know. And at the end of the day, Louis van Gaal does have this aura about him, and you know it might be a draw. It's you just got to wait and see.
Still balls it up.
You've
Yeah,
also
that
got
was
to think
because it was David
United-
fucking Moyes. That's why.
United without Champions League football are still bigger than most clubs with Champions League football.
But
I'd say.
if you're the player, it's
Yeah.
easy to say that from the view of a Manchester United fan.
not
The
big
But if
player,
you're-
I think
if
it's
you're
advancing your career to
Using
go to
Di Maria
United.
as the perfect example.
Well, Di
He's an
Maria's coming from-
Argentinian.
He's coming from Real Madrid, though. Now, Real Madrid and United, I think, are like the 2 biggest clubs
Sounds
in
like,
the world.
shouldn't you be on Real Madrid TV? Sounds like you love them. Classic Gaz, always kicking off. Right, the Daily Mail put a load of Manchester United names in a hat, pulled them all out, and reckon we've got 5 players who Van Gaal was told to leave. Do we think those players are accurate? Have we any reason to trust the Daily
less
Mail?
players
Well,
than Blackpool
no,
if they left.
we have no reason to trust the Daily Mail because all summer long most papers have got everything wrong. Like today, I think one journalist tweeted, United no interest in Cuadrado, and that was Jamie Jackson is he in the Guardian, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got another journalist from the BBC going, I'm hearing Cuadrado's agent is in Manchester. So, you know, nobody knows anything. So why would you then suddenly believe that the Daily Mail have the inside info on who Louis van Gaal wants out? Like I said earlier, wait till the end of the transfer window, then you can assess it. This year is a lot different from last year where everyone was being briefed. I think this year it's just literally nobody really knows.
I disagree with that a little bit. To say wait to the end of the transfer window, we just keep. Something should have happened by now. I'm not saying, you know, we should have had 5 world class, the best players in the world signed up, done, dusted, but we don't even, you know, nothing seems to be happening at all. We just keep hearing the same old crap every summer.
That's my point, is that
Every summer.
nobody seems to know what's going on, so you're just hearing it.
I heard something the other day about Raphael apparently being sold.
Raphael.
He was in that list.
How can Raphael go? We don't even have a backup right wing back for him. So if he goes, we have none. Ridiculous.
Aside from Raphael, there were no real surprises. Nani, Anderson,
Yeah.
Hernandez. Do we think those players will have a future at Manchester United? Or if it was you, would you, even now, with our squad as it is, would you get rid of them?
I wouldn't get rid simply because of the way our squad is at the moment.
Yeah.
If we had brought in 3 more players, we've got 5 new players in, and you can say, okay, well, look, there's no space for this guy, X, Y, and Z. But at the moment, you can't assess because we don't know who's coming in and who isn't. So you can't say, oh, let's get rid of him, because in the end, you may need him. Raphael being an example. You never know, he might be bringing in a right back. I don't know, but the point is, you can't just say, get rid of them and then work on everything else. Yeah. You know, that's how I wouldn't work like that.
If you were a manager of Manchester United, would you be confident enough to go up to Ed Woodward and say, look, sell these players for me? Because we know we'll get some replacements in after. You can't sell the players if you're not confident we can bring players in. And
We don't even have a backup left wing back, do we?
Ashley Young. Right, that is the end of part 2. Make sure you check out part 3.
We're going to win the league.
Boom! We're going to win the league.
Shut up, Adam.
Predictions, realistically, where do you expect us to come?